It's time to take your business to the next level, the boss level. These are the premier business owner strategies and successes being utilized by the industry's top talent today. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss. Now let's welcome your host, Ann Ganguza.
Hey everyone, welcome to the VO Boss Podcast and the Boss Superpower Series. I'm your host, Ann Ganguza, and I'm here with the one and only Lau Lapidus.
Hey, Ann. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, Lau. How you feeling this Saturday?
Awesome, as always. Excited to be here with you.
Me too. And you know why? I was going to tell you before I asked you. Do you know why?
I know what's coming up. I think you're going to talk about giving today. Giving.
I am. I want to talk about giving. Yes. And I've mentioned this before. Purpose beyond profit. For your businesses. So, I mean, it's awesome to be bosses, right? It's awesome to be a business superpower and to be a boss. And I think a big part of being a boss is also understanding the power and the grace of giving back. And I think that there are a lot of people who, if they had the opportunity, would really get a lot out of giving back. I mean, anybody who's given to a charitable organization knows how good that can feel. And I truly believe that today people want to align themselves with businesses who are about more than just profit, you know, that they stand for something, they believe in something, they do good, they give back. I just think it's a good thing to do in your business. And I know it's hard if we're just starting out trying to get our careers going. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, I don't know if I have the money to be able to donate at this time. But I'm going to ask you guys to think about your purpose. Think about the positive outcomes that can come from giving back. Lau, what are your thoughts about?
I am so into that. And I have to say, this isn't an elitist sort of thought process of, oh, I've made it to this amount of money I'm grossing in my business, then I can give, or this or that. It really is not contingent upon how much you're taking in or how much you're making. Really, I think the truth is, as a business owner and as a human being, a citizen of the earth, I like to say, you should always take a very small percentage of anything that you're bringing in and give it away to the charity of your choice. And I always say to people who haven't done it yet, who don't know what it is, and it's a little scary to do that, just start really small. Like if you're going through a coffee line, like let's say you're going through the drive-through, pay it forward once a month and just pay for the car behind you and see what that feels like. What does that do for you for that day? For me, it's very energizing, very inspiring, and very anonymous, which I also like too. It's really coming from the heart, not for recognition.
I actually love that you said that. And there's a couple of different ways when you're giving. And I love the anonymous because I feel like when you're anonymously donating, you're really giving for the reasons coming from your heart. Now, of course, there are a lot of businesses who support different charities or support different organizations, and it becomes a public part of who they are as a business. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, especially if it's to the point of they're able to contribute, and it's not a thing where it's front and center, where it becomes like, this is who we are and this is what we're doing for so-and-so, but it becomes just a side part of what they do on a daily basis. And I love that you said, start small, because it doesn't have to be big. As a matter of fact, Lau, our sponsor, 100 Voices Who Care, has a really cool idea on how you can give and really make an impact. And basically, it's a community effort where you can donate $100 a quarter. So that means $100 a quarter, 4 times a year, $400 total for the year. And essentially, if you can get 100 people together in that organization, there'll be 100 people, that can be a total of $10,000 a year.
Ooh, that's
that can
a lot.
be given away. And so actually, that's a large amount. So for you making your $100 contribution 4 times a year and then doing that just minimally together with however many members that are contributing can actually make a real difference. And then essentially these members get together and they do their pitch for their favorite charity. And they say, well, I really like to give to this charity because I feel strongly about how they're helping animals or they're helping needy people in other countries or they're whatever they might be doing. And and you'll be within this group making your pitch. And at the end, everybody votes on what charity that will ultimately win that money. And then what's so great about it is that even if it doesn't go to the charity of your choice, it's going to a charity.
Exactly. It's giving back to the world, to the people, the animals, the children, the environment, whatever your causes are. It's going in all of those directions. So in essence, you are personally involved with the giving to all of those different worlds. And to me, I'm about to actually join that organization, 100 Voices Who Care. And I'm very excited about that because I'll tell you, I'll be perfectly honest. I've been trying to find organizations to work with, and it's so hard to give money. It sounds ridiculous, but it's hard to get people to call you back. It's hard to find point people. It's hard to find anyone who has information about the organization. And I was very relieved to see this particular outfit at our conference recently that we attended. And I was like, wow, this answered all of my prayers as a business and also as a human being. Like, you're going to take care of a lot of this for me. But I also have a voice, and I can pitch an organization that I'm interested in giving a voice to.
It's wonderful.
That's exciting.
And who's leading the organization, who was there at the conference, if you guys were there and didn't get a chance to stop by and see her, is Claire Dinsdale, who is a voice actor herself and who is fronting that organization to help be able to give to charities. And it's just wonderful because it's something where I want to feel like I can make a big impact, but I don't necessarily have a lot of money to give. But together, we can really make a huge impact. And I think one of the things I thought long ago was the fact that if I was able to have an organization, let's say like my VO Peeps and my VO Bosses, that now that I've formed this organization, there is this segment of it that I do want to be able to give back if I'm able to give back. And so it's one of the reasons I formed the VO Peeps Scholarship Fund and have been giving scholarships away for, close to 11 years. And again, it really is a matter of the community because I accept donations from the community as well as in-kind gifts. So it doesn't always have to be money either. It can be your time, it can be coaching time, it can be equipment, it can be all sorts of different things that you can donate that can really mean something to a person's career. And so that became a very integral part of the VO Peeps business model. And so I really encourage all of you bosses out there that if it is possible to either join an organization and get that feeling of being able to contribute to that organization, to give back, I truly believe it makes the world go round, right? I mean,
it's huge.
Even if you're giving anonymously, I think it's just everything comes back. I believe in good karma. I truly believe that it helps in the growth and positive reinforcement of the world and our humanness to each other.
So true. I mean, the karma of that, if you believe in karma, if you believe in that boomerang energy, that what you put out into the world will come back to you. I mean, we wouldn't do it for that reason, but I do deeply believe in that. I absolutely believe in that. And I did want to just give a super quickie anecdote and about a moment in time that's running through my head right now where my daughter, and I hope she's not listening because she likes to be anonymous and everything she does. My daughter, about a year ago or 2 years ago, young kid, she was a young kid, teenager. She saw that one of the customers that came into a store she was working at desperately needed a walker and did not have the funds to get a walker and was really, really struggling. And on her birthday, this kind of blew me away. On her birthday, on my daughter's birthday, she decided to take the money that we gave her on her birthday and buy her a walker, which was a very expensive walker in store, and give it to her. And her and my son delivered it to their door. And I said, that's amazing. Are you sure you want to do that? They didn't have any money saved, and that was good money for her to do something with. She said, I can't think of anything I really want or need, but this woman, Sarah, needs to walk. And I would feel better giving it to her. And she did that. Long story short, I was amazed. I'm trying not to get verklempt about it.
What a wonderful story.
I drive up the street now, Anne, and I see this woman, she lives in the area, crossing the street with the walker. And every time I see her, I just quietly, she doesn't know me, she doesn't know I'm the mother. I think my daughter gave her that.
Yeah.
And it's not about the walker, it's about freedom. And so I always think it's not about the money. If you give $1, if you give $1 million, it's kind of the same because symbolically, what it's really giving to a person, confidence, energy, freedom, all sorts of things that you have to think of it in that way. Don't whittle it down to just monetary. It could be a service you do, right? It could be something you own that's precious to you that you give to someone else. It could be anything, right?
Yeah. I love that story. That's such a beautiful story.
Amazing story, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And that taught me a lesson.
Yeah. And there's so much to be said for when you see someone in need, just being able to help them out, what it can do for you internally, mentally. And I think that, of course, as we say over and over and over again as we run our businesses, I mean, we are all human and our businesses are very personal. It's a very personal part of our brand. So whatever we do outside of our job, right, outside of our business affects our business in a lot of ways indirectly. And so I think being able to feel good about what you're doing and feeling good. Again, we're always talking about in our business, let's charge what we're worth. And I still believe in that. But I also believe that if you can help another talent out or if you can help someone else out around you, then that is just going to contribute to the overall good of your business and of you personally.
And I do think some of the best times to give, Anne, are not in dire times. I think we always connote that, if someone's starving or they're in war or whatever, of course they need help and assistance. And of course we should assist them. But it's not the only time. Maybe there's a zoo or an animal farm that needs maintenance, constant daily maintenance to feed the animals, clean the animals, keep them whatever. Or maybe there's the trees in the forest that need, we're big in terms of Israeli trees being planted every year.
Sure.
And we give money to plant new trees every year so that we can grow that new forest. So thinking about what am I doing to maintain, what am I doing to provide a future for populations or for the environment. It's not only in dire circumstances. Sometimes it's in good circumstances in order to keep it maintained and keep it healthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that really it's something that I would say if you haven't already put it into your business plan or into your daily life, really take some time to consider what can I do? What can I do to help give back? And again, as Lau mentions, it doesn't have to be monetary. I mean, it could be your time. It could be some other service that you can provide. If you don't have the money to donate, it could be your service. And that could mean just as much, if not even more. I mean, be a tutor for a child that might need help reading, or there's just so many things that we can do. I would say take a part of your work day. I wouldn't feel bad. You know what I mean? If we're busy and we're like, okay, we're focused on our work, I think you should set aside a part of your work day to consider what am I going to do to help give back? Maybe even it's something as simple as contributing to, I'm going to say, a Facebook forum in a positive way where you might be helping other talent. Gosh, I know, Lau, this has been going back and forth about people who ask questions in the forums. And some people get really angry about having to answer the same question multiple times. They're trying to pick my brain. And yes, I get that whole thing. But I do believe that as a good service towards people coming into the industry, you can give a little bit and give some helpful advice without sacrificing, giving away the farm. I mean, gosh, the VO Boss podcast, over and over I've said, it was something that I wanted to do to give back to the community, to just have a resource that people could go to.
Right.
And so a lot of my stuff that I do, I have that whole series on teachable moments that I put on YouTube because I love teaching. I love sharing. And yes, I will be the first person to say that, yes, some people, when they come to me for coaching, they say, well, I saw you on your videos or I listened to your VO Boss podcast. Gosh, Lau, I'm sure people will talk to you about that too. I am so grateful for the people that come to me that say, I listen to your podcast religiously, or thank you for what you're doing. And yes, I want to work together. So that's the bonus.
I'm blown away. Bonus.
That's just a bonus. It wasn't the original intent. And I think that is obvious too, right?
I'm blown away by that. Yeah. We get comments all the time about this wonderful podcast. And it's like, woo! I feel like superheroes. We're spending our time together on a Saturday and doing our thing. But then when you hear and you see how it lands, how it affects people, how it has the potential to change someone's life, well, in essence, I mean, that's giving too. You're not giving physical money, but you're giving time. Time is energy.
Yeah.
Time is value. Time is money, right? And I do want to mention, too, another thing I tend to do, which is hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. I take as many surveys as I can. And that's the thing that everyone hates and doesn't want to do. And they get the survey from every hotel and every whatever. And I literally sit there and I think, okay, I have to do this for them. I have to do this.
Yeah.
And then if it goes too many windows, too many pages, I can lose my patience. But if it can be done in 5 minutes,
Yes.
I will do it for them because I say, I know they need that feedback and I'm the person to give it to them in a really constructive way. And that's giving
wonderful.
of yourself too.
And you know what? That's so funny. You just reminded me because of VO Atlanta. I'm just going to say VO Atlanta is one example where the staff, I'm going to say the staff just ran their tushes off and bent over backwards trying to help me. And Law, if you remember, you were part of that one night when I was starving to death. And so the staff really went above and beyond. And I said to them, give me the email address of your manager. I will write an email saying how wonderful you were for me tonight. Please, I want to do that for you. And
I love that.
Very much
I love
willing
that.
to do that because it helps. It does.
It totally helps. You don't see it, you don't hear it, but you have to
Yes.
believe it's there. It's like if the tree's falling, do you hear it? Is it happening?
Yeah.
Yes, it's happening. Yes, it makes impact. And yes, you don't always need the accolades. You just need the knowledge of knowing it's happening. And I noticed you neglected to mention that I had to threaten the whole staff at that Marriott to get you like some turkey sticks or whatever we got you. And that was my
sticks.
charity for that night.
There, you had to threaten everybody. But the person that came through for me, they bent over backwards.
They did. They sure
to
did.
help me. Yeah, they really
They
did to get me that turkey
They went
sandwich.
beyond.
They
went
did.
beyond
They
customer
went beyond.
service, beyond
Yes.
hotel service. That happened to me one time up in the Berkshires, and it was a hotel. I think it was a Marriott. It was great. It was super great. And I needed baby powder one night. You know, maybe they thought I had a baby, which I didn't, but I needed baby powder. And my husband goes to the front desk, and it's like 11 at night. Do you happen to have any baby powder? And the woman who has babies, young children who works at the desks, said, we don't sell it here, but hold on, let me run to my car. She runs to her car and gets it from her baby in the car. This is a hotel rep.
Yeah.
And gives it to my husband and said, here, give it to your wife. I know sometimes when you need certain things, it's just good to have them. And I never forgot that.
Yeah.
I never forgot that. Was so above and beyond to me.
Yeah.
It was so personal, so personalized
Right.
to do something like that, you know, whether it's shoe polish or a toothbrush
Yeah,
or baby
yeah.
powder or whatever it is. It's the humanness of the connection and relationships we have together. Was that an extreme need for me? No. I could have lived without it. But the humanity of the honest connection between people
Sure.
is what builds the good juju in the world. Not always here, let me give you physical cash.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
help you and do something to make your life easier, and it'll connect us for a moment. To me, that's worth everything. I love that. I love those moments.
And it makes me think of our clients, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes can we extend a little bit to our clients once in a while? Do you know what I mean? Like if they need a favor or, you know, gosh, they need a pickup like yesterday and is it 3 words and they're ready and willing and able to pay and you're like, you know what? No, it's okay. Like you're just building that good relationship. As a matter of fact, I'm the type of person. Oh, gosh. I don't even charge. I mean, unless they have completely new scripts, I don't charge. I embed in my price. I embed a certain amount of pickups to it. And if it's a company that I've worked with for a while and I've got a good relationship with them, I'm happy to extend a freebie here and there in a pinch for them. Absolutely. Because honestly, the time it would take me to draw up the invoice and charge them and worry about all that just it wasn't even worth the time.
Right.
So I do think that also in your businesses, you can extend goodwill towards your clients as well and not be threatened that you're not charging what you're worth.
We used to call that in the olden days, don't nickel and dime people.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
means not just getting the pennies from someone, but also the bother, the energy, the exhaustion,
Yes,
the stress,
that's what it
everything
is.
that surrounds that transaction. And you have
Yeah.
to know intuitively, is it worth it quickly
Yes.
to do that or
Yeah.
not? Is
Yeah.
it better to just say, hey, let's not worry about that right now. Let's worry about the bigger picture right now of things.
Let me
versus
get you
this
let me get
little
you your job
picayune.
on time. Yeah.
That's
let
a
me get
huge
this
give.
job to you on time. And I think, yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's something that you can consider. every once in a while, especially if you've developed a great relationship with a client. Now, clients that nickel and dime you, well, that's a different story.
That's a different story.
Yeah, that's a different story. So I think we have to make wise decisions. But I think for the most part, if you know your client, you're going to know what the right decision is. You're going to know if they're nickel and diming you. But I truly believe that a little goodwill can really, really go a long way. And that's personally in your business all the way around. And so, yeah, I like how you associate it with the stress that's wrapped around the request or the stress that's wrapped around the transaction. And I think alleviating as much stress as possible. I'll tell you, that's my goal lately, Lau.
And that's a great goal to have.
I don't want stress in my business.
One does.
And I think
no one does.
Stress or pain I don't want any of that. I just want joy. I want joy surrounding my job. And sometimes that's tough to do, but I'll tell you what, it's so much easier when you are a boss yourself and you're in control of it because you realize that you have control of those things. You have control over your goodwill towards your clients, your goodwill towards humankind, how you feel on a daily basis and how that translates into your performance and how it translates into your business. It is absolutely up to you. And it's one of the things that I'm so grateful. I just love the fact that I'm working for myself. And I mentioned this to you just recently, Lau, that I don't want to go through the stress of if I'm working for someone, why did I work so hard to build my own business if I want to experience stress like that? I don't. So anything that causes stress like that, basically, I've got to figure out what I can do to wipe that stress away.
That's right. And to circle that back with that idea of giving. And by the way, we have a great term. Most people know that I'm Jewish. We have a great Yiddish term called mitzvah. When you do a mitzvah, when a boy or girl turns 13, we have a bar or bat mitzvah. It means they are now an adult and they really need to start thinking about giving. Give back. Don't take. Give. And that's the whole purpose of a bar bat mitzvah. So the mitzvah of the giving is to de-stress, to relax, rejuvenate, give someone the joy, the pleasure, the peace of mind that what they're doing is a life worth living, is goals worth having, and that you're there in their community to support them. I mean, I'd love to see that in the world at large. We'd have a better world if everyone could think in the way in which you're thinking, and is like to de-stress someone is to give them a huge gift, whether it's a smile, it could be an emoji, it could even be like
a compliment.
Like pay attention to someone else for a moment and call attention to something that they're doing really well or something that impresses you or something that delights you. Because a lot of times someone might be thinking it and not articulate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So kind of motivate yourself to articulate those positives. And when you feel the negatives coming on and you want to criticize and you want to judge, just stop for a second. Like stop and think and say, do I really need to give that out to this person? Is it really necessary? Or would it be better to build them up? That's a mitzvah.
Do I need to put that out? Do I need to put that? I love that. Do I need to put that out into the world?
Sometimes that's better than money. Honestly, sometimes that's better than money to say, I recognize you. You matter. You're someone. And you're doing something really awesome today. Thanks for doing that. Ooh, oh my gosh, no one tells me that. Yes. You need to tell people that.
And I say, bring that into the booth. We'll just keep going. Every time you mention something, that's great. Now I'm like, okay, so can we bring that feeling into the booth, right? And I'm always talking to my students, and I've found I say it more and more, is that copy, you need to serve the copy. You need to serve the person you're speaking to. Your delivery needs to come from the heart. It needs to come from a place of service. It's not about how good you sound doing it. It's a place of service. You're helping someone. And I think if you can take any script that you're doing, commercial, corporate, medical, whatever that is, and you have that place of service, that place of heart, where what you are saying is going to benefit and help someone in the end, I really believe that that can be a major impact on your performance, and a good one at that, because I believe that the connection that is formed when it comes from that place, right? That place in you really makes a difference in the read. It makes a difference on the people listening to it as well.
I just know personally for myself, when I'm able to give something, whatever form it's in, I feel so good. Yeah. Like right now, I just got a little hot in my skin and I thought, oh, am I having a hot flash? No, I'm thinking with Anne about all the ways in which we give. And I'm literally sweating right now because it's so fun to me. It's so exciting because it's not just about giving, it's about seeing how it ripples into the world and into their universe and ultimately your universe too. Is like seeing the water, like when you throw the stone, it's the ripple effect of giving. I love that. That's so cool to me. It's like a little artistic venture. You don't know where it's going to go and how it's going to land, but you just know you threw the rock out there and you got the ripples going. And so it kind of got me all hot and bothered. Fun stuff.
What a great conversation. What a wonderful guy. So yeah, bosses, one more time, we're going to talk about the 100voiceswhocare.org. Big impact. Simple mission, big impact. 100 voices, 1 hour. $10,000 4 times a year. So if you want to find out more about how this all works, make sure you visit 100voiceswhocare.org and find out more, and tell Claire we said hello and we love her, and we love her as a sponsor of this show. So make sure you check out 100voiceswhocare.org. And of course, as always, our sponsor, IPDTL, we love them. Find out more at ipdtl.com. So everybody, have an amazing week, and we'll see you next week. Mwah! Love you, bosses.
Join us next week for another edition of VO Boss with your host, Ann Ganguza. And take your business to the next level. Sign up for our mailing list at voboss.com and receive exclusive content, industry revolutionizing tips and strategies, and new ways to rock your business like a boss. Redistribution with permission, coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.
Where did you learn that? How did you know that? How did you know how to do that? Interesting. That's another one. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let's take that again, please.